Welcome to Here's to Your Health with Joshua Lane. Here's to Your Health discusses the current thinking in wellness, bringing you the most influential thinkers in beauty, fitness, and longevity. Your host, Joshua Lane, was part of the Dr. Ann Wigmore team that helped bring wheatgrass sprouts and raw foods to a worldwide audience. And now the host of Here's to Your Health, Joshua Lane.
We're back. Thank you for tuning in to this edition of Here's to Your Health. I'm your host, Joshua Lane, and my guest is Denny Waxman. Denny Waxman, who in conjunction with his wife Susan, wrote a brand new book called The Ultimate Guide to Eating for Longevity, The Macrobiotic Way to Live a Long, Healthy, and Happy Life. Very brand new book published by Pegasus Books, which is a nice publishing house. And Denny, I'm happy to say, has been working with macrobiotics, I guess, since the very early 70s, maybe the late 1960s. So he's one of the men who, along with his wife Susan, who really helped establish the macrobiotic ideas of eating healthy in the United States and around the world at a time when they were considered just beyond the pale. No one was paying any attention at all. And so now, 50 years later, Denny looks like a very wise guy because he introduced these ideas when they were not popular. Now, happy to say, because of his work and the work of many other people, these ideas are much more popular. So, Denny Waxman, welcome to Here's to Your Health.
Well, thank you. I'm happy to be here, Joshua.
I'm very happy to have you on the show because, frankly, I really have always benefited from and enjoyed macrobiotics, the ideas of macrobiotic foods. And for the listeners who maybe have heard the term, so what exactly does macrobiotic foods or macrobiotic lifestyle mean?
Well, there's so much misunderstanding about macrobiotics. If you go to Wikipedia, it starts off macrobiotics as a fad diet. Which
right.
couldn't be further from the truth,
right.
Because macrobiotics is based on the eating pattern of all the world's longest-standing civilizations. It turns out that everywhere in the Far East, India, the Middle East, all of Europe, and Africa all have the same eating pattern, which is grains, beans, vegetables, seeds, nuts, and fruits, naturally pickled and fermented foods, and mild beverages and sweeteners. So this pattern has been around for basically 10,000 years, and the founder of macrobiotics, George Osawa, fashioned it after that. But with one interesting twist, and that is Japan has had a history of health and longevity, still the greatest in the world today, and they had the same pattern with two additional foods. They used soy products and seaweeds. So that's basically what the macrobiotic diet is.
Well, yes, and if I could say this by way of a compliment, so the whole idea now that people were eating whole grains rather than white flour grains was an idea promoted largely by the macrobiotic associations in the 50s, 60s, 70s, when that was really very much cutting edge, and of course no sugar, and the use of sea vegetables. And the use of miso and the use of tofu and tempeh are items that are now mainstream items that the macrobiotic associations and thinkers, they get credit for introducing those ideas to as a mass audience. Right. And so, Denny, let's just talk about sea vegetables right now. So tell the listeners what the sea vegetables are that you use and what the benefit is.
Well, the main ones that we use are nori. That's the sheets. You might have seen them in rolled sushi. And nori, toasted nori, as far as I know, the only plant source of vitamin B12. And it's full of a whole variety of minerals. Basically, it helps create healthy blood. And it's interesting. Children everywhere are crazy about nori because it helps them grow. Then we also use wakame seaweed, especially in soups, miso soup, which not only is a high source of calcium, but also helps to regulate the blood pressure. And then we use kombu, which also we use in cooking, especially with beans and things like that, sometimes in soups. And that helps regulate blood sugar very strongly. And all help the body naturally detoxify and give protection against radiation.
Wow. And our guest is Denny Waxman, the author of a brand new book called The Ultimate Guide to Eating for Longevity, The Macrobiotic Way to Live a Long